Be sure to use code BOBSYT at the EA store when purchasing the Battle Pass or Apex coins to support the channel. So the new Galactic Games event is coming to Apex Legends on August 19th, and we just got a trailer and the patch notes that reveal some pretty huge changes, especially for the wildcard mode, but also some other gameplay changes that have released to help out in ranked. So let's start off with what's dropping in the Galactic Games event, and we're gonna have to start with the brand new wildcard updates. For 3 weeks until September 9th, Wildcard will be in a new state where you'll be able to craft these new wildcards, which you've heard us talk about for a while. Unfortunately, we didn't get to playtest them in the early access, but now we get a full rundown of what these wildcards are. So during this event, when you go into your wildcard games, everything will be pretty much as normal. However, there will be brand new wildcard replicators that will spawn in around the map. And these should spawn in each round, and here you can craft a wildcard. And you'll be able to choose between 2 wildcards that you'll be able to put in your inventory that will give you a permanent perk. For example, Wallrunning, which gives you the ability to wall run. And each player can hold up to 3 wildcards per match, giving them 3 new modifiers that will buff their kit. And you can craft 1 wildcard per round. So at round 1, you can get a wildcard at the replicator. At round 2, you can get your second wildcard. And at round 3, you can get your third. And here's a list of all the new wildcard perks that are coming to wildcard on August 19th. First up, of course, we have wall running. This gives you the ability to wall run, and I find it funny here, it even says that it can impact regular behavior of Legends kit. I cannot imagine how many bugs there might be with this. There might not be any, but, you know, this is Apex we're talking about here. But this gives you the ability to flip and wall run in Apex Legends. It's going to be so fun. Obviously, we've had a few stints of wall running, like in the Halloween modes, but this is real wall running in Apex, and especially on the new Kings Canyon map for wildcard. This is going to be even more useful because there's so many new buildings around. There's so many more moving parts. The gravity launchers, you can go off one of them, land in a wall run. You can go absolutely crazy. Imagine pairing wall run with Ash's dash. We've never been able to do this before. It's going to be sick. So definitely make sure you try out the wall running perk, because that's where Apex will truly feel more like Titanfall. On top of that, we have the Mad Dash, which gives you a dash ability. So we were just talking about pairing wall running with dashing. There's going to be a wildcard itself that gives you a dash ability. I assume this will be pretty much just Ash's dash. And obviously, if you have this, hopefully it allows you to double up Ash's dash, and also just gives you Ash's dash on every legend, no matter what, if you have that wildcard. So you'll be able to go crazy with movement in wildcard. We also have the Recharger wildcard, which recharges your shields while you're running. So if you're sprinting, you will charge back up. That's going to be huge because popping shield cells is kind of annoying in that mode, especially when you can't find them. We also have Personal Space, which increases your melee knockback, and the Hard Hitter wildcard, which increases your melee damage. So if you have both of these wildcards, you can become a bit of a melee tank. The Forge that never was. Could you imagine if they just dropped a whole new legend in wildcard? Now that would be something crazy. We also have Status Report, which reveals enemy locations on knock. That one's pretty huge. Obviously, in wildcard, if you thirst an enemy, though, it already reveals their teammates. I mean, this is slightly more useful. Obviously, it allows you to react faster, but I don't think this one is as crazy because obviously you can just thirst that enemy and you'll see where their teammates are. And then we have Speedy Charge, which means your tactical and ultimates charge faster. So yeah, you can imagine now at round 3 of wildcard, people are going to be perked up to the max. They're going to be doing crazy movement. They're going to be doing crazy melees. They're going to have abilities faster. It's going to be a pretty scary time, but also I think it's going to be really fun. And just be careful when you're crafting at those replicators, because that'll be an opportunity for people to snipe you. Now, what's also coming to this wildcard mode is the brand new Grand Slam melee weapon. Now, we finally got to see how this is going to work in the mode, and this is going to be a new mythic weapon that will drop in the wildcard care packages. And as you imagined, it's a melee weapon that deals hefty melee damage. So I don't know the exact numbers, but it's going to be pretty high. But it also deals more knockback on every hit, and an even bigger launch after the 3rd successful hit, with potential to impact multiple enemies. So after you successfully strike for the 3rd time with the Grand Slam bat, it will do a crazy launch, which we can see in the trailer, just sends the enemies flying, and this has a chance to hit multiple people. So if for some reason you have enemies grouped up, you can just launch all of them, you know, out into the ring, off a cliff, down to the low ground. I don't think it's going to be crazy powerful, but it sounds quite fun. And I'm sure there's going to be some pretty funny clips with this. Now, I don't know if it will spawn in the mythic bin. It doesn't say here that it will. Now, next up, we have some more gameplay changes that have already come to the game prior to this update. First of all, for the new amps, they've now added an icon to enemy health bars for increased awareness. So now, if an enemy does have an amp, you will see a small square icon next to their health bar, which shows the icon of which amp they have. And obviously this is useful because now you'll know if, for example, they're able to heal much faster than you are using those special healing amps. Now that does mean I would suggest making sure you do learn what the icons mean. Make sure you know what each amp icon actually does, just so that you can quickly recognize it off of that small icon that displays next to their health bar. But this is very good for clarity, and I mean, this should have been like this to begin with. They've also updated Bangalore, so her tactical now no longer destroys deployables through walls. This helps a lot of the controller legends. Now, she still counters them if she has line of sight with the smoke. However, it means, you know, you can't just pop a smoke on the other side of a wall and destroy a Watson ult, which was crazy. That was just way too OP. So yeah, Bangalore's kind of been nerfed slightly, but I mean, this was kind of unintentional anyway. They also did a fix for the auras. They now actually display the correct rank when equipped in unranked modes. And they also fixed the accolades, and now the compact mode will mute the audio cues as intended. And the first class medic accolade was missing before, and it's now been added back. Now, next up, we obviously have to talk about the Galactic Games event itself, which unfortunately is a milestone event, obviously meaning you're going to have to kind of gamble if you want to try and get the mythic or the special legendary skins. And of course, the mythic reward is the Grand Slam bat. It comes in multiple variants that you can purchase with exotic shards. And if you watch my videos, you've probably already seen plenty of the animations. I'll obviously place some of them in the background as we just talk about it. But it's a pretty cool bat, universal heirloom. It also comes with a death box that's kind of this Olympic style. And then we have the legendary skins for the legends and the weapons. And these are all kind of Olympic style themed skins where they're kind of repping their country, obviously with the Apex twist to them. Honestly, some pretty good skins in here and a lot of weapon skins that match all of those legend skins as well. But luckily, there is also going to be a reward shop. This is a free price tracker, and on the first week and a half, you'll be able to get one event pack along with badges. And then in the second half, I don't know if we will be getting another event pack. However, I believe we are going to be getting this epic Wraith skin, potentially, that I saw in the early playtest. So there we go. That about wraps things up. Let me know what your thoughts are on the new wildcards. What do you think of the new modifiers that are coming to the wildcard mode? And that's the beauty of this new wildcard permanent mode. It's going to be where all new event LTMs essentially feature. Rather than bringing out new LTMs, most event changes are going to be in wildcard. And you'll probably find that means that queue times are shorter. More people are playing wildcard anyway, and they can just do crazy things like these wildcards. And for the end of the video, let me know in the comments which wildcard would you add to the wildcard mode if you had the choice. What kind of perk would you give to everyone? Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.